Hello. Hmm. That's it. That's all he wants.
Fun wars and battles. We have some fun in there. We just geek out, talk shop. We hang out in there a lot too. So if you want to just get real time connects with us, you can just probably catch us in there. Follow all the folks on socials. That's Mouth Breathers Guild LLC on Instagram, KV Spicy on Instagram, the Manny Draws on Instagram, Ben_Hill_art on Instagram, the underscore Time Police. Is that the?
Yep, the
the
underscore time. Kev,
yes.
you even know my socials, dude. You're awesome.
I had to say them enough times. All right.
Can before we even get started on parasocial, I think Kev brought up a great question in the Discord. So I want to ask people that are watching us right now. Kev, you brought up a discussion that had at least Noah and I talking a little bit as to what we would like to see an animal-based movie on, and I can't remember how you framed that. So
Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I rewatched those Planet of the Apes, the new ones. I haven't really seen many of the old ones. I saw the original a long time ago, and I've seen the Marky Mark one a few times, which is hilarious and terrible. But the new ones are amazing, and like I remembered liking them, but I think I like love them, and I just think they're rad. And I was like, but while I was watching it, I was kind of consistently wondering, and maybe it's just because I've been reading a lot of animal comics lately. I've been reading like Man's Best and like Animal Pound and stuff, and I'm like, would Planet of the Apes work with a different animal running the Earth? You know what I mean? Could there be Planet of the Cats, Planet of the Dogs, Planet of the Hippos? I don't know. I guess there would just be, if there's a planet of the animals, it's all the animals, probably, right? Like, because humans are the ones who are interfering. I don't know.
What did you say, Manny? What were you thinking about?
What was I thinking about? I mean,
yeah,
good question. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I just thought it was funny being a hippo planet. Nothing but hippos.
Like that, like are bipedal and like
yeah, they're just having
like
coffee at like
English.
the cafe and stuff, and they like eat the cup though. They don't.
They just like sit down for dinner and eat a whole chicken.
The
you know
whole
what I mean? There's like a
thing.
roast.
Yeah.
There's just like one gulp.
Mash everything into a ball and
just watermelons everywhere because why not?
Yeah.
Hungry hippos.
Yeah.
Brock said, "Planet of the Peregrine Falcons." Do they make noises that aren't just like that intense squawking, squeal, piercing noise? You know, that's just the whole thing. Planet of the Giraffes. Everything is just really high up. You know
Everything
what I mean?
is really tall.
Could you imagine designing the houses for them? That'd be pretty funny. Have like little holes cut out in some of the rooms so they can put their head up.
That's what the door is just like the long rectangle.
It's really wide at the bottom, and then just
Yeah.
it goes tight shoot.
I just like I'm a big fan of like my favorite animal based jokes are like in BoJack Horseman. Like there's some really good ones. Like Mr. Peanut Butter is a Labrador Retriever or a Golden Retriever, and then like there's like a moment where he like opens the trunk of his car and it's just filled with tennis balls. And I just think that that's like such a dumb joke. That's just like a throwaway. It's so funny. There's like a character who's like a tree frog and his hands get stuck to everything. This is like really funny. Like it's those dumb jokes. The show's very well written. It's great depiction of like depression, alcoholism, the whole thing. But like the best parts of the show are just the stupid like non sequiturs in the background. Like it's just my favorite.
It was Zootopia, but dark, right?
Yeah, basically.
I just thought, what are some of the best taglines you could get? So I was leaning on dogs, right? You can just have dogs instead of apes or Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Dogs. It's a dog eat dog world out there.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah.
all the puns you
There's
guys were
some
doing.
dumb
Boy.
puns. The more
Anyway. If you want to continue this discourse with us, please join the Discord and talk to us in that channel where this has been going on. Okay, let's talk parasocial. So, Ben, I want to hear your thoughts firt. What
Wait,
did
you
you
don't wanna
take
hear
away
mine?
from this book?
You
You didn't read the book.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, this was like 5 minutes before we jumped on here. Man, it was just like, hey, just so you guys know, didn't buy the book.
I didn't fucking read
just-
it.
I figured that would happen. I should have asked about it, but then I forgot about it, and then I was like, all right, Manny probably just won't have read this, but I know Ben has it. He's shown me his copy, so.
Yeah. Well, so I have to say, the way it starts out, I was really impressed, and I like some of the design elements in it. I'm going to be really as careful as I can be, because this definitely was something, when I started to read through it, I'm like, oh, okay, I see where they're going with this, and I don't want to spoil the plot or anything, but it's not something that I would like see on a shelf and go, you know what, I'd like to read that. But I think that's what's great about this, the fact that we're doing this kind of book review with all of us. We all have different perspectives. There are definitely things that we love, and then there are things that, each of us are like, have you read this? Like, we should do this. And it, to others, it could be completely new, but we've had great success. Bad Weekend, Pulp, both of those are books that I haven't read, but now absolutely love, because of just the way that they're paced. They set everything up, the art style, just everything resounded so well. And I have to say, the book looks pretty. And it reads like a CW show. And I think it's really interesting from that perspective. But I love some of the modern touches that they do in here, where you see things like the chats that are going on, like the group chats, talking about different people and helping drive the story and plot along. That shows that you can use different devices in storytelling and get your message across. And it being something playing off of that parasocial, like living off of someone else's life. Like, ooh, I love everything they're doing. I want to live their life. I want to live my life through them. That kind of feeding off of somebody. I really think that helps so much. Getting these little interstitial pieces of social media dropped right in, which, I mean, honestly, when we think about a lot of the things that we do, we can easily get tied up in those things. I know myself, there are times where I'll pull up Instagram and I follow amazing creative people, these, present company included, and I'm just like, I don't know how they do it. Whether I'm having a hard week or I haven't had time to sit down and be creative myself, it's really easy to fall into that easy trappings or pitfalls of being like, dude, I just don't compare. I would much rather live that person's life and do what they're doing than live my own life. And it's a really dangerous thing. And I think they play on that a little bit, which I think is interesting. But as far as like the storytelling goes, it's unique. It's set in a time, because this is, as we go through the book, we'll see like this is around COVID. So a lot of things are done with like social distancing and everything like that, which I think is interesting. But yeah, there are parts of this where I'm glad it's short, because I think if this were extended, probably another 48 pages or something like that, I'd have been like, oh, this is a slog getting through. But by the time that all this wrapped up, I was like, all right, that wasn't too bad. That didn't end like I expected it to. And whatever some of this weird stuff is toward the back, Kev and I will talk about it. Yeah. I think if they did more of the weird stuff in the back, I'd be like, dude, let's do acid trips or like get high on fentanyl or something like that, and just trip balls and draw crazy shit like all day long. That would be a lot of fun. So just my initial thoughts, and I think I rambled on way too much, but
so I hear you're
I
not
think this
thrilled
was
about
your-
this book, but you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. This was your recommendation, Kev. So just, you can do a much better job of encapsulating your thoughts than I do. But what was the thought around like, oh, I think this book's great, I really think we should read it? Like, what was the thought behind the recommendation? What did you really love about this before we dive into it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the basis for the recommendation itself was that I had just read it. We were talking about books that we wanted to talk about. And I just thought this book was incredibly well written and really dynamically kind of presented, and really enjoyed my time with it. I'm also just a big fan of Erica Henderson. I mean, this team that did Dracula Motherfucker, that book is really cool. And then just everything I've seen from Erica Henderson, I really enjoy. She's got some really sick variant covers. She did that book with Ryan Stegman that I'm forgetting the name of. That was really good. Or was it Kyle Starks? I can't remember. Anyway, it's called Danger or something. That book was really cool.
Wait a minute. What was that called?
Called Danger and something.
Oh, okay, never mind.
And she's done other stuff that I'm just not remembering right now and probably should. Alex DeCampi, this is going to be a brief aside. I know that... Oh, Squirrel Girl. That's what she did that I loved Erica Henderson. Yeah, the Ryan North run. Alex DeCampi is a prominent voice in comics who has several opinions online, and is kind of embroiled and wrapped around in the Ed Piskor controversy. I don't want to get into that, and I don't want that to like influence that. So just as like a disclaimer, like I'm aware of what was said and what's going on. I'm not going to share my thoughts because no one gives a shit about what I have to think about that. And it's not my place. But back to Parasocial.
Well, can I say the one thing, and this is my thought on it, and we can take it for what it is. But if you ever need just help, like tell somebody. There's no need to take the links that happen to certain people's lives that are now no longer with us. And I think that's a real shame. But
yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, reach out. Hell, reach out to us. We'll talk to you. We're mouth breathers. But Parasocial, I love the satire in this book. I can tell it's just like intensely specific towards fan culture and fanfic writing and con culture, weird like micro interests of like fandom, like shipping and like queer coding everything, and just every type of person that they have in here, just the obsessive fan cultures and communities. Like, I am a fan of things on the internet, and I've brushed up against many of these things, and I just find it all endlessly kind of fascinating and hilarious. I think this book does a good job. I think this book does the misery premise very well, in a fun and different way that's specific to comics, and I thought that was like really cool. And I love the presentation. I love that every page is almost different and unique. She's doing tons of different things with color and line work to kind of give you different vibes for flashbacks and memories and dream sequences and like all these different tips, like little things. I just really appreciate the amount of like abstraction that Erica Henderson does, and it just makes this story kind of constantly have like momentum that is really cool.
I mean, I do have to agree with you on like some of the colors and the different choices. It really does help just encapsulate a lot of the settings that are going on. And I think the piece that I have is I struggled a little bit about this with Bad Weekend. It's really hard for me, and this is just my own personal downfall, to read a book where there's no character with any amount of like redemptive or redeeming quality. If they're all just horrible people, I'm like, I don't know why I'm reading this.
Oh, that's funny.
At the end, I just want everybody to go away, and thankfully, like that's what happens at the end of this book. I don't think everybody just goes away. So I guess that's kind of one redeeming quality about it, and maybe that says something too with just the way that that Alex and Erica are able to draw that emotion out of me. But like our main character, when you think of like the sleazy Luke, Indiana, which number one I take offense to because Indiana's my home state. But for like Luke to be the douchebag, that he's just that smarmy, actor who.
Oh no!
There.
I just realized your audio has been fucked up this whole time.
No.
Hold on, let me fix it.
Have I been really low or just?
No, you've just been off this whole time.
Oh no.
Hey, good. Some of my hot takes then can just be lost to.
Oh man, damn it.
Brock was fine with it. I think Brock heard my question about, or maybe he just heard you repeat.
Brock, you're a terrible viewer, man. Why didn't you tell us Ben's audio was off, man? This is your fault, Brock.
Brock, it's not your fault. I'll make it better. I'll give you free stickers or something.
I'll make it better.
You can probably pull the audio from Manny's stream if he's been streaming at all.
I might have missed. I'm not?
We're just going to... Okay.
I might have missed all the audio. I might not.
Yeah, we're going to walk this back just a touch.
No, I'm
just because the audio is missing. Oh, you're streaming?
I am, but I may have missed the beginning of you guys. So...
Okay. Well, let's just keep acting like the audio was here the whole time.
Everything was fine. No problem.
This is a live stream, not a podcast, so there's no editing.
Where do you want to start?
I really enjoy your commentary about not having a likable or redeeming character, because it just made it click in my mind why I enjoy so many of the things that I do. Is because I love books where nobody's redeeming. I also love like pure moral paragon tales. Like I am a huge Superman fan. I am a huge Spider-Man fan. Like if I'm playing Red Dead or Mass Effect or Baldur's Gate or whatever, like I'm choosing the moral paragon path every time. But there's something I love about despicable, horrible, flawed people in a movie, TV show, comic book narrative of any kind. Book, like that's why I think like It's Always Sunny is probably one of my favorite shows of all time, because all 5 of those characters are just awful backwards terrible people, and it's hilarious to watch them get their comeuppance like every episode. And that's why I probably like Brubaker books and like Tom King and like noir stories and crime and all that stuff, like and westerns. The ones that aren't like the John Wayne kind, but the Clint Eastwood kind where everyone dies. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, even in like some of the Clint Eastwood ones, the horrible people get their comeuppance, and he wanders off like a ghost. But I want to stick with kind of my feeling, my overall impression, and I hope this isn't me being diminutive or diminishing to the book on just what it is, but it does feel like a CW show. It's like the CW retells misery through this lens of a con, of a geek convention, because you get so much of this like very over the top. The main actor, Luke Indiana, is just this great actor and has this resurgence in his career, and so he's going to this convention where everybody loves him. But you see some of his interactions with other people that he's been in roles with in the past, and I love the little cutaways that they do just to show how much of an absolute horrible person he is, where he's telling the person, the actor, to their face, like, I don't know why you got fired. I have no idea why they let you go from that show. And then the cutaway is like, they're ruining everything. You have to get rid of them. Like, they have to go. And then, that there's a great example of that when Luke is talking to, I guess, the show writer or whatever for the show, and gets this other character, Katie, kicked off the show. And then you get the social media posts. It's like, oh my God, why'd they get rid of of that character? That she was great. And it's like, oh, that's the writer. He's a real misogynistic piece of crap or whatever. And it's just one of those things where if you're looking for just the most despicable person in like the C-list or B-list actors, like, this is your guy.
Yeah, and I think that's very much what they were going for. Like, I know they mentioned like sci-fi original kind of shows as being like an inspiration for the type of character he is. I think CW is very apt. Like Vampire Diaries or something like that. Like, I get like that kind of vibe, Supernatural, stuff like that. Yeah, and he's a complete dickhead across the way. I love just on the first page too. The glossy highlights that they like smudge in on his face to be like that wonky like filter. I think it's really funny. And I love that it's Lily, like the girl, the crazy girl in the story. This cameo's for her. One thing that's really interesting that we haven't mentioned yet is that this book has a playlist. It has a soundtrack that's mentioned throughout the book, which I thought was a really cool touch. It is a Spotify playlist that you can just like scan the QR code in the back and get. This playlist is pretty solid. There's some good tunes on there, man. But yeah, he gets to the con and he's so clearly so miserable and everything sucks when he runs into that woman. And then you immediately get the fandom chirping. I also love the like little nods and homages. Like there's a Harley Quinn and a Deadpool like here. And like there's tons of like anime and weeb references throughout. I love the sequence of the fans coming to talk to him, where you have this like hyper intellectual like queer kid talking about all of the like gayness of the show. You have a little girl who's like frozen and terrified. He gets like fan yaoi art with like gay romance on it. Like people like
and
sobbing.
Just like hand sanitizer stuff.
Hand sanitizer. And then we meet Lily in person for the first time. And right then we flash back. I love the flashback sequence. Like, it is depressing and horrible.
This is the only character I like.
The wife?
Rachel. Yeah, Rachel. This is the only character I like because he's such a dirtbag. We already see like he's had some kind of inappropriate relationship with another. It alludes to some kind of affair that he had with somebody on the show, or maybe she was just one-upping him, and that's why Steve got Katie kicked off the other show. But then Rachel's just like, yeah, you were gone, most of the time anyway, so even your kids aren't really going to miss you because you were never around. And I'm like, good. Goodbye. Go. I don't.
Yeah, you were always a guest star in their lives. It's just like sick burn. I also love the I love the texture work on this like memory page. Like everything's kind of smudgy and there's like that kind of like splatter and scratchy texture over it. And it just like really sells that. I like that it kind of sells like the memory qualities of it. Really cool things that she does to just like differentiate time and space in this book.
Yeah.
No photos. I love one of my favorite jokes in the whole thing is the guy from CSI East Texas. He's just like gives him Adderall, offers him Xanax, and then is just like, gotta love how we're doing with the photos now. With the divider, I don't feel like I'm covered in fan butter at the end of the day,
I want to see that guy more often. What show is he from again? He's from like
CSI East Texas.
I thought that was awesome.
Such
Like,
a good show.
there's a CSI for everything, for every state. Oh,
And he's
so
just like raking it in.
Detective Ruben Sandwich. I love that. What great.
Ruben said, I did not even
You
get
didn't
that.
get that. Yeah, that like I couldn't have told you that name there, but I was like, I know his name's on here. Where is it? It was really funny. It made me chuckle. It was like
Ruben
I'm not really
Sandwich.
laughing. I'm not really laughing through most of this, and until I got to Ruben Sandwich, and then we do more. What he goes to the panel, and you just see once again, like anytime. What I think is so interesting because the female, it shows that he just sucks with women. He's just really a douchebag.
Slime ball, yeah.
Slime ball. And yeah, you see there's a woman that comes up and asks you a question or asks him a question, and just that zoom in on his face and just the smarminess that Erica can convey and that little, top tooth smile.
Yeah.
And that line, like, what's your name? Like, oh,
I read that as like, what's your name?
yeah, real gross, right? Real. And then we get a little bit more of that interstitial
Flashback.
Yeah, I love the call out with like freebie. So they're naming things that are of the time itself, which I think is fun too, because it does allow you to connect with like what's going on and familiar streaming apps and things like that. The talk of like podcasts and all this fun stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think this is a book that generally has a lot of its strength and its specificity of what it's pulling from. Like, I think if it didn't go for these marks, like, it probably wouldn't be as successful or, interesting. Like, because it goes to those, like, immediately weird places with fandom that are very specific that somebody has really experienced. Like, I don't think it would have worked. You'd probably just gloss right over it. I love this is just a great way to convey the passage of time with all these pictures. This is really cool.
Yeah, but now that you gave me that line reading, the rest of his lines to answer that one lady's question at the con, like, man, that just makes me, freaks me out even more. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I like the photo op with the passage of time. And again, setting that this happened during COVID. So each time someone goes and gets their photo op, there's someone in the background wiping down the screen. And I love the fact that it's overlaid the screen to show like there's a photo. Then someone's got to clean it real quick before the next person. And then they got to clean it again. And it just shows how flipping obnoxious that time was to like go and interact with anyone, especially if the person was special. Because there's so many people that, you see the people cleaning everything are all wearing masks. So it's weird.
Yeah, no, again, the delicious specificity. We got some good onomatopoeias on the page too. I love the little cutaway lines that are kind of peppered in the background of all these, like, your photo will be ready in an hour. You can pick it up from booth, but your eyes were closed. We need to take it again. It's like, just really just making it this awful experience for him. And then a girl talks about his leaked divorce papers on Tumblr. Like, perfect.
Oh, so good. Well, and you pointed out the onomatopoeia. That was something that I really appreciated with this, and I think we talked about. It's not really a ding on Luther Strode because Luther Strode is just a phenomenal book, but knowing all the work that goes into the sound effects, and it's the little things that you just kind of catch as you're like, oh wow, I love that detail. The click within each picture, and then we get to this long text message conversation out in the parking garage before Luke leaves the convention that evening. And even as he's like checking his email, and he makes the reference to like, oh, that my battery on my phone's almost dead. Like he's sending a text message or something, and there's even that whoosh, that like sending that text message off. Little things like that I think are fantastic. And then we get to kind of the big first climax of the book, and there's so much there that I thought was so cool. I'm like, wow, she did a fantastic job just conveying action and the chaos and everything that goes on when something like that happens. Because, well, and you talked about the color earlier. As he's leaving the parking lot, everything looks so grimy and muted, which, you know, whenever you're pulling into a parking lot itself during the daytime, it's not like it's gorgeous, but just something looks always so dingy about a parking garage at nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
You never look at a parking garage at nighttime and go like, that's a place I want to hang out. It's like, that's a place I want to get the hell out of as quickly as possible. So I kind of love that aspect of it. And then my question, because there are song cues in this, as he's checking his phone, there is a "This Year" by the Mountain Goats. Is that another song cue?
It is. I'm glad you brought that song up because it is the best needle drop in this whole book. That song is like one of the best like drive by yourself and have an existential crisis songs I've ever heard. The Mountain Goats are a band from Durham, North Carolina.
No, really?
Yeah, John Darnielle, like local legend. Very talented songwriter. Kind of like acoustic punk music.
Oh, thank you. Manny loves that. Manny loves Mountain Goats.
Yeah. Yep.
I've seen him live like way too many times just because he's like always around. You know what I mean? But yeah, we can have a group listening party to that song at some point. Or Ben, you know, if you're having a particular day, you're driving to work or something, you're like, man, I hate my job, and then put that song on. You're gonna
play that when I get up in the morning.
When you walk to your desk.
You'll feel it, dude. It's a
My
really
life.
good one. Very good. But yeah, and then in the middle of the night, I love the shot of the headlights. That's just like one of my favorite panels.
Yeah.
I love those weird scratchy pen marks. Give me that.
And I can't tell you, I love just that scene because, well, before I got my glasses, like I've always hated driving at night. It is by far my least favorite thing to do in the entire world is drive at night with all the headlights, because it doesn't seem to matter. You either have people that don't have headlights on, which is really strange in North Carolina. I find a lot more people drive without their headlights on at night than do. And then people that drive with their headlights on have their freaking brights on. It's like, dude, you're pulling up behind like another passenger vehicle. Why are your brights on? Because now you're just blinding me.
I got strong feelings about this as well, Ben. I think that LEDs should be illegal in cars, or if you're going to put them on your car headlights, they should be tungsten like tone. They should be a warm color. Because that bright white LED. I also drive a Jetta, and so I am at the height of everybody else's headlights. So all headlights beam directly into my eyes, and I hate it so much. And if I'm like, but this is the thing, driving at night, I love it because when there's no one else on the road, I'm on like a country highway and I can just drive. That's my absolute favorite thing in the world. But when I'm on an interstate and there's like hundreds, thousands of other people around me, man, oh, that's hell on earth.
Every day.
Man, I think these, aside from the little subtle jokes that are going on, I think these are probably my favorite pages in the book, just conveying that everyday hate that I have of having, if I have to drive at night, because then you get this insane chaos of an accident. You know, the headlights shining in his eyes. He's putting his foot on the gas, because I love the little, indicator at the bottom as he's like turning around to yell at the person behind him for tailgating, and his foot just hits the gas, and then you have this massive accident, and just the insanity. And I love this pop here.
Yeah.
You get the honk, and then the pop of the airbag. So I was like, what the heck is that? And then you see like the and I think it's down here in the corner where my finger is. There's actually the crumpled airbag, which I just love that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I also love that it like you get that like intense speed line coming off of his turning the wheel on the first page, and then
Yes.
just the whiteout crunch, and then just like complete abstract like color and lines, just chaos with the work, like no like real obvious like that's not an obvious shape, but it's the perfect energy.
Yeah.
And passed out is just funny. And this lettered fuck kills me.
Along with the like kicking the car.
Dog. Fuck.
And I love how big it is, because it is like, if you're by yourself, or you may be with somebody that like, you're comfortable with screaming profanities like that around, like you get out and you're just so pissed off. Just kick the car, even though the car had nothing to do with it. Just right out in the middle of nowhere. I just wish they would have done some echoes just to show like out in the middle of nowhere. So good.
Yeah, great. And the terrifying reveal of Lily back. I am a huge fan of specifically like this 2-ish panel sequence where the face with her like the underlight coming on her round face on the bottom of the first page, but then the close up on the eyes with that almost like distinctly anime shot, like very manga inspired, and then like the contrasting that with like her fanfic like post.
Right. And but I love all the, I guess they're not hashtags, but they would be like the certain terms, like fluff and smut, cuddling and snuggling, flirting, sexual content, public sex, like all this stuff.
Yeah, divorced Luke is one that's really funny.
Oh yeah, divorced Luke.
And then light dom sub undertones.
Which, I mean, when you think about that and some of the stuff that's coming up in the book, like this is like, it really goes back to, wow, she wrote her own little fantasy and it almost comes true.
I mean, it kind of does. Yeah, I love that. Rogue Nebula, RPF, role-playing fiction.
Thank you. That was going to be my question. I saw RPF. What the heck does that mean? So times.
It could also be fetish, but it's definitely RP is role-playing. I have accidentally stumbled into the Reddit worlds of role-playing far too many times. And it is just a corner of the internet I'll never understand, particularly with the erotic stuff. There are like specifically people out there on Reddit who like are outreaching into the world anonymously to be like, hey, I need someone to talk to me over like voice chat or over the phone, role playing as I don't know, someone like Petra from Luther Strode in Ben's case.
Right, I got my attention.
And like they'll role play and I'll jerk off. Like is like the relationship. They're like, I really need somebody to like RP as the chick from Stranger Things, and then like I'll jerk off and it'll be great. And like RP, it's so crazy. Like I don't know.
All right, so now we know Kev's. Manny, who's calling you?
Who's calling me? RoboCop. Yeah.
Oh, nice! Wow, you got.
I want you to come.
You're coming with me.
That's perfect. No, mine would probably just be like Allison Brie from Community. Like if you just talk to me like the Dean from Community, I will fucking lose my shit. I would probably pay for it, but I wouldn't jerk off if someone just pretended to be the Dean in an erotic setting. That's really funny. Maybe I should get into that line of work. I do like silly voices.
There you go.
If people will pay me for it, I'll do it.
And we never saw.
You heard it here first, folks. I'll role play as Michael McDonald while you jerk off. But anyway, that's enough of me. Let's talk about Lily, because she gets that iPhone cord, and I love that like you kind of already get this dirty feeling like this is not good.
Yeah.
I don't like this at all. There's like the stalking texts that precede this, but you're just like, uh-oh. And as soon as she offers that Gatorade, man, I'm like, oh god, that's the thing. That's gonna do it. You never take a drink from somebody.
Nope.
I absolutely love, again, just showing his smarminess. When she gives him that iPhone cable and he plugs it back in, he's like, "I'll give it back tomorrow. Just come by the booth during the photo ops." And then he turns around like after all the smile and everything, and then his mouth just goes dead. It's like, "Yeah, you can have a free one, whatever." Yeah,
He's such a dick. One of my favorite exchanges too is where is it? When she asks for his phone number. And he's like, "How about I get your phone number and then give it to my assistant to like reach out to you?" And I like love how shithead that is.
freaking jerk.
It's like also just give her if you're a celebrity in this instance and you're afraid of getting miseried in on a Texas highway, just give them your number and then block it. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
And if you're really worried, get a new phone. Your safety is more important than your phone number. And I'll say that as I am smarter than every horror movie protagonist. Fucking idiots.
Dumb.
Well, and I think I don't know if Alex put this in the script or if Eric had just added this touch, but to your point, as they're sitting there drinking the Gatorade that that he hands Luke in the background. So it's got like the two of them against the car drinking, and he looks off to the side across the roadway, and you see like a coyote or a wolf, some kind of predator, and then he takes the drink, and that's when crap goes sideways.
I like that you brought that up because I was actually listening to an interview with Erica Henderson, and like she likes to advocate for and fight for those little moments. That was like something she specifically said, where she's like, in these sequences, like there's always a little thing, and I think we'll get into more of those once we're in like the full-on kidnapping and murder sequences. Like the little touches she adds are great. I think a great example of that is all the wiping in the like picture sequences. Like you don't have to add that detail, but it just makes everything flow together so well. It just contextualizes and adds a lot of flavor, little taste.
Who did all the text in this? Was it Erica that?
I believe Erica Henderson does everything on this book. I could not
everything?
find credits.
Because I thought this was such a great touch when he drinks the Gatorade and everything starts kicking in. Like the text gets really wispy.
Yeah.
And I just love that little addition to what's going on, along with her lines and everything get real elongated, and everything just feels like it's swaying back and forth. Now, it's only for 2 pages, but I thought that was such a cool detail that she added to all this. And that closing shot of like this figure looming over him as his eyes start to close over in the back of his head, and then just to black.
Yeah, Manny, look at these 2 pages if you're not watching the stream, because these things are sweet, man. Like this blur of red and like her wobbly motion and like the way that his color kind of bleeds all over, like the line work to just add that like drunkenness.
Yeah.
And then you get those lines.
I remember seeing those pages. I think it was like in a preview or something. I saw it somewhere, but yeah, it was so good.
This fucking looming shadow taking over these 2 panels, being both her standing over him and her face here very like subtly. I don't know if those lines come through.
Yeah.
And then like his face. That is fucking awesome. That is so cool. Really well done.
Is she doing all this traditionally? Or
I believe so.
Damn, son.
She does like certain like I don't know what she has a digital aspect to her work, but I don't remember what she said. She
And then
talks
it's
about it in
black.
her off-panel interview, and that's very good.
No.
Yeah, the fade to black is a great touch.
Oh my god. What
I
a
have to see.
yeah, that's great.
Oh, what's he looking at? Is he looking at the setup for the next panel? And
The kitchen.
Just her. Yeah,
Yeah.
him tied up with the iPhone cord is my interpretation on that. I don't know if that's true, but it looks like it, and I like that. That's my headcanon.
hey, that's pretty good, right? That's what got him into this. Is he needed? Can I have the iPhone cable?
And her in this like hot topic mall goth like ill-fitting corset
Yeah.
is like so funny. I wore this to Dragon Con in 2019 and you said I looked beautiful, remember? Like, so
Damn.
good. That shot, that undershot is great. I love
Yeah.
that.
That's fantastic.
So what I think is interesting, and I didn't realize that until we were flipping through this, I don't know that they're in this book there any traditional what we would call like 2-page splash, right?
Yeah.
Normally,
There's the kiss one.
well, the kiss is even, dude. I love the fact that she like goes full manga style for the kiss. But
Yeah.
even that's cut into panels.
That's awesome.
So it's not like full full action that's shown. So when you get things like the car accident, when you get this introduction to like him tied up in the kitchen, she stretches those panels to allow it to breathe, but then tie into the sequence that goes on immediately following that. And I think that's such an interesting touch. That it allows once again for space for what's going on, for those oh shit moments, whether it's applying tension or applying some breath to it. And as it goes from Luke tied up to this pan across what's going on, and I love it. It's panning across the kitchen, and as you would in the CW, you're panning across the kitchen, and it tight ends on Lily, like you said. I love your description of like a hot topic mall get up, because I can only imagine Lily is mid 20 something or late 20 something, and just obsessed. And it's like, not saying that she's not an attractive woman. I think she's got some mental health issues, but it's one of those things where it's like, I think you could look better if you just got something that fit your body. But I think it's
a big
so
aspect of it.
It shows Erica's attention to detail, because that bustier she has, if you look at her chest, like even she is showing that like the bustier is way too high.
It's like mashing her tits, and it's like her belly is like popping out of the like hem, and it's just like so well done. And the like full purple scheme, like it is literally like it reads perfectly like this girl went to the mall and was like, I look good, and bought this shit. You know what I mean? Like it's
But
like
dude,
implies
spot on.
I really like what you were saying too about just kind of the geography of the room. Like normally in comics, you don't always need an establishing shot, but like all these little details that are going to work their way into the script is really great. And giving you that sense of space is crucial for kind of understanding. Like it both makes this feel cramped, but like a whole world at the same time that you're like kind of now stepping into.
Well, and when you think about it from some of the story, or just the story scenery and where most of the story takes place, it's like you get the convention at his table, you get the parking garage, and then on the road. And on the road is very ambiguous. But then, 3/4 of this book, well, 2/3 of this book is in this house, and the vast majority of this in this house is in the kitchen. I think we get into the living room, but the living room is completely covered in darkness. Then you end up back in the kitchen before the end of everything. And so it is really important that you get this understanding of the space and where things are located. The chairs come into play. I don't see the butcher block because I know the butcher block is something that they lean
good call. Yeah,
on.
it's probably in that corner next to the oven that we can't see.
Yeah, but again, it gives you. God, I love the fact that you called out. Like, this does allow things to breathe, but it's an establishing shot because everything that matters is going to take place in this room and in a dark room next to it, which you don't really need to know what's over there because
It's just a dark room. It might be her bedroom or the basement or something like that. It gives
I
off
thought it was like a
basement
living
vibes.
room, right?
Yeah.
Living room that's not lit up because Grandma's room is back here. So, but again, going back into the text, I love this. Like, what? Again, don't have to put word bubble. What? It's just
Yeah. The halftone in the fuck is really good. I don't know if my camera will pick it up, but it's really nice. Hilarious. And the fact that he goes dosing me with ketamine and kidnapping me, and she's like, how'd you know it was ketamine? And it's like just completely oblivious to the fact that that's a recreational drug is so funny.
And I just love the fact that he just nonchalantly is just like, look, I used to take a lot of drugs. Just part
I'm
of
gonna
it.
be the bad guy. I should at least be able to stay high. And I love that from the get-go. He's just like, look, you don't want to go to jail. Like, you don't want the smoke. Like, it's gonna be fine. And like, you're immediately kind of like, oh yeah, he might have a point. Like, she's crazy. Does she really want to do this? Like, she could probably be talked out of it and charmed over. But we've all seen Misery, so we know what happens after this. The shrine is so good on the next page.
Oh, the shrine's so good. I love, again, is it even like, yeah, in the establishing shot, there's mail on the table. And so that's where he's got a 50-50 chance of guessing her name. It's either Nadine or it's Lillian. And he guesses wrong.
It's been a really hard time for me, Nadine.
Dude, and I love, again, not a ton of action, but look how much how much Erica puts into this to just really show, hey, there's some mental instability here. But again, working with those letters, the colors, everything.
I love the lettering inside of her mouth when she's like correcting him.
Yeah.
Lily.
I think Lily goes through some high highs and some low lows pretty quickly.
And I like kind of kept catching this one on this other page with the red eyes and just like explaining the perspective. Like, you see the red square showing the knives, and then the close up, and then the close up shaped rectangle like matches over his eyes. Like that way, your that's just a really cool way to go about something like that.
He's like, I see she's getting close to those knives. Dude, can I tell you, I wish there was more of the grandma in here. I miss the grandma character.
She's fun.
Comes out. I thought it was a grandpa at first until it's just like, Nana. Like, oh, gotcha. But did you catch us a burglar? And she's got this big old metal base. I'm like, Nana don't play around.
No.
And like the genuine terror in her eyes, like she doesn't want to kill this guy, at least not yet.
Not yet.
And you need your diaper changed. What disease does this Nana have that she's constantly high on ketamine?
Dude, I don't know, but
the good stuff. Is her grandma actually a horse? Did we ever think about that?
Well, and did you notice the little detail? I don't know why they put this in here, but when she's leading the grandma back to the room, apparently, all old people are religious because there's a crucifix that's hanging on the wall just inside the bedroom. I'm like, wow. It's such an interesting detail. I wonder why that is.
And just a sweet old lady. And back to the geography of the room, like sense of place, time, looking at doors, seeing where everything's at. And this is when he has his change of heart. He's like, I'm not going to get out of here alive. It's time for me to turn on the charm. And he almost gets her too. I am single now, and you are really sexy. Look, I'm terrible with names. I have been my whole life, but I saw those pictures of us together. I remembered. And then it cuts back to her fanfic, which is
and
just
then
so perfectly poorly written. I can't believe how specifically nailed this.
then it talks about like, oh, just the
You don't know how exhausting those conventions are, Luke said, his winter blue eyes shimmering with remembered pain. Of course you'd notice the dark circles under them, the way his hair hadn't been cut recently. Nobody was taking care of him, least of all himself. So many people, and you have to be so perfect for everyone, no matter who they are, what they look like, what they smell like. His mouth quirks up in the roguish smile as you've stared at for half your life. And then you'd come, and you were a jewel, the only thing in any room you were ever in. I couldn't take my eyes off you. He looks down, bashful, as blush colors his high cheekbones. And suddenly my job was the easiest one in the whole world because of you. It shows in the photos, Lily, the way I was looking at you. I didn't look at anyone else that way.
so ridiculous.
Not only is she a geek and a fan, she's a terrible writer. And that is, so spot on. I have read so much fan fiction in my life. Just out of sheer morbid curiosity. It's like, maybe it's good. I don't know. There was also a time where I thought, maybe I should get into writing fan fiction for money. And
So what do you say, Lily?
what
Do
do you
you
say?
want to be my girlfriend?
With the twinkling eyes and the cheekbones, and I love how different they make him feel, like page over page. Like he goes from like greasy and desperate to like tween heartthrob with the pink and the gloss and all of that. Like just page to page.
I just wish
Kiss me.
that kiss me where that open mouth is. It's like just put a tongue like licking the lip just to really show how gross this dude is. Because so gross. And then we get even weirder. Just I think I called this out earlier when you were talking about the ill-fitting Hot Topic dress, and he flat out addresses it. It's like, Lily, I want to feel your breasts in that dress. And of course she catches on. She's just like, if I untie you, then you'll go, and I don't want you to go ever. And I love that like wide-eyed look and like that ever. That's
real manga shit.
Oh my gosh, so good. And then you get the sparkle.
Oh, look at
Can I
that. We got a bot trying to solicit services.
Oh yeah, bot. Hey bot, write me a story and make me famous, and then we'll talk.
Go to Streamrise.
Well,
No, thank you.
More like go away.
You're out of
Yeah.
here. You're banned. So yeah.
But then we
no
go
problem.
back to Steve. Like, isn't it Steve and somebody else that he's like, I need to go see my buddies?
Yeah, just let me call Will and Ophelia. They'll be worried about me. They might call the cops. And
Yeah,
then they just
that's
don't give
Will
a
and
fuck.
Ophelia. And I almost want a story of Will and Ophelia. They seem like a fun, like cool couple. Because even like Will knows they must all be besties, and he's like, Luke will be coming in roaring drunk at 2 a.m. and ask us for a threesome, and his wife's like, again, and Will's like, get shot down, and she goes, again. And I'm like, yeah, these. Well, and then, he like lights up a joint, and she goes to take it from him. Like, these people just seem cool and laid back. I want to like hang out with them more.
Yeah,
They seem like decent people.
real Austin hippie kind of folks.
Yeah.
And they keep using this onomatopoeia like shape and sound. I'm just a big fan of it for the phone vibrate. It's always that VVT. It's like, and I'm like, you okay, bro? Yeah, that stark black and yellow back to the pinks to like return to this fantasy. Tie me up to the bed.
Oh, this part. So the kiss is. I think this is so funny. The straight out manga, like setting everything up, showing just the fangirl. Why is it that like fangirls are just like, oh, I love the manga style, then cracking in with that hard reality, Oh God.
Yeah, he punches her in the fucking face.
Sir. I'm like,
It's just-
at this point, this is where I'm like, I'm surprised they went that far.
Right.
Showing against women. It's like, yes, she's drugged you. Yes, she's brought you to your house, but she hasn't gone that far yet, right? She's not hit you with anything. She's not done anything other than, some drugs that you've done before in the past yourself, admittedly. And oh my God, I cannot tell you how excited I was to see like him get that knife in the back. And I was more sad that the rest of this book wasn't about hiding the body. But again, leaning on those red tones, and I love the fact that all this still has, realistic flesh tones and everything up until when the knife is stuck in the back, and then everything goes red. I thought that was such a cool touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Pain.
thump kabump is like just such a great onomatopoeia for the stab. I don't know.
So good. So good. Oh, and dude, when he pulls that mirror down with the crash, she really got to play around with a lot of just fun onomatopoeia in this. I think there's really a lot of use of space and getting to play with just some of the letting things breathe, letting the action take place. And again, it's not like we're telling a superhero story. This is, like you said, a modern day Misery. That knife pointing up. And this is what I love too. Just for artists out there, like you don't have to draw a line showing that like the knife is sunk into clothing. Just make it look like this abnormal extension of the body, and it's like that knife is now one with Luke. Like that's out for a while. I love that. So good.
And I love also another moment we talked about with this story, like the little moments. He's just staring at himself in the broken mirror, like with a look that conveys, "I'm gonna die tonight." Like
Yeah.
he's like realizing what's gonna happen.
Dude, I wish.
Yeah. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. 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 Help me! It hurts so much.
You said you were a nurse.
I'm a pediatric, not a med surge. Don't pull it out. You might bleed to death. Are you on fucking WebMD right now? No.
No.
And then this is the callback to CSI East Texas.
Yeah.
I love this.
With Ruben Sandwich.
Yeah.
I want to see
Detective
that.
Ruben Sandwich.
I want to
make
see
that
an
fan
overlapping story with Ophelia and what's his name and Ruben Sandwich. I want to see their paths cross.
Yeah, all the different pieces of evidence are great because it's also like, the level of evidence you could pull from watching CSI East Texas. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
like she's an expert because she watches CSI. It's just like the cursory knowledge you would get about how you think an investigation goes.
Oh yeah, the toxicology report on like the bottle and the ketamine, victim and suspect's fingerprints both on the bottle, the fibers, all that stuff.
Fingerprints on weapon matched to suspect.
Lily, no, there's evidence everywhere.
It's not evidence. I won't tell anyone. Yeah, I thought you loved me. Great. The use of mouths. She does some good mouth close-ups throughout this book.
Yeah, she
Mentioned
does.
a couple. This is another really good one. Again, the differentiation in lettering, like, really make it hit. Fucking great.
So good. I love the silhouette of Lily in the doorway. This is love. Like you called it. Like if I was thinking Misery and those characters there, just that haunting silhouette of the impending doom. I got a knife in my back. This doesn't feel great. Someone's coming at me with a metal baseball bat. Like, I am effed. Like this is no good.
I didn't used to think you had to work to think you were handsome. You use smoothing filters to get rid of your wrinkles, and then tie back to the cameo.
Well,
My daughter said it looked fine. She's 8.
unrolling duct tape. I love like she's stretching. I wish instead of that little, I wish he would have just enlarged that, just that
Yeah.
the duct tape sound. But again, as she's rolling around his wrist, that again, just little sublime touches that I just think, I'm not saying that there's some artists that can definitely get away with it. Trad is a primary exception, but I think it adds so much to visual story.
I love it. I think I would have gone with a different onomatopoeia for the duct tape, though. It wouldn't be a. It would be more of like a ripping, kind of like a. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the sound I think of when I. Manny, what do you think is the sound of duct tape?
I think of like that scene in the Batman when he's he's got that whole like all that tape when he's taping down like the dude in the beginning. So it's like or like a I don't know how you'd spell that. But
yeah, I like the deeper
loud
sound of like unraveling duct tape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like a. I don't even know, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, I like that. Just a little RT.
Yeah.
When I think that's like the tearing the tape, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about
or like
rolling it out.
masking tape.
Yeah.
And like it makes duct tape is so uncomfortably loud. I feel like doing that big emphatic, sound would be a lot of fun. Especially like I'm almost thinking of a panel where you do it in a circular shape around the roll of tape as they like do it, and like have like the onomatopoeia follow like around the wheel and then over as you're ripping it off. You know what I mean? That'd be cool.
I love the statement he makes as he's laying there on the ground and she like hit him with the baseball bat, and he goes, "I think you broke my knee." It's like, no, number one, I wish, but just that callback. Instead of broken ankles, we're going for a debilitating knee break. We hope doesn't turn out that way. But this one is definitely unsettling. Just as far as, Luke totally deserves it. I feel no sympathy for these characters, so all a part of me is if they're trying to like lean on, ooh, this should be really uncomfortable. I'm just like, okay, this is weird. How far is this gonna go? And then finding out little things that they lean on from an actor perspective, where she cuts his shirt open and finds his appendectomy scar, or she asks like, oh, this is where in the TV show they said this was like where your power source was on the show, like your medical scar, and she thought it was from an appendectomy, and he's just like, no, I was just being a real jerk off in college and jumped off a roof into a snowbank and landed on a fence and then had to go to the hospital. And I was like, just again, him being a complete douchebag, and it worked in his favor that time.
And this is like where her kind of serial killer "why I did it" monologue is in the book. Basically that like she had no friends in college. She found this show, built a community, and like I feel like the ownership that they take as fans is a big part of it. It's like this ravenous, this belongs to us because the show was so bad that made it ours. Like we could fix it. I love that. Because I've never been that deep into fandom where I got friends out of it, but I definitely have had enough niche interests in my weird little life that I need to like look shit up on the internet and find the people who are ravenously into it. You know what I mean? And God bless them. We need them. Like I don't want anyone to feel bad about being this hardcore of a fan of anything, like whether that's comics, movies, video games, TV, whatever your vice is, because the world needs people like you. You know what I mean? If I need a comprehensive watch order of a specific series or universe of like films and TV shows, like I'm going to find you guys and you're going to tell me the watch order because you're going to be like, you're going to watch season 1 and then half of season 2. Then you're going to watch the first movie. Then you're going to watch the next 3 episodes. Then you're going to go online and find this docuseries about the making of those 3 episodes because there's behind the scenes footage that contextualize the last 3 episodes of the season. Then you're going to finish the season, and then you're going to play the tie-in video game. But remember to stop halfway through that video game and make sure you watch the movie that came out the same summer, the second movie, because then you'll fully understand the ending of the game, and then that contextualizes all of season 3. And and you need people like that, because you're going to be like, oh, I get it. Like, how would anyone get into Gundam without Google?
Oh my
You know what I
God.
mean?
Or
There's 10 million episodes of that, and like 400 different series. Warhammer,
One Piece.
One Piece.
Oh my gosh. God bless anybody that's out there that watches all the Naruto and all the extra BS content that's created. That's not even main storyline. I mean, gotta be somebody out there that watches it.
Like, the fact that fan wikis exist is one of the most amazing things to me. There are people who just simply care about running an encyclopedic database of content for your IP or video game, book, movie series, whatever it is. Like, whole Wikipedia knows more about Star Wars than George Lucas does.
Can I get into this real quick? Sorry. Now we can go on this huge, crazy tangent rabbit hole, but I'll try to do my best to be brief. But there was such a big emphasis on like all the new stuff that's going on with X-Men, and all the teams that they're building up, and everybody's talking about Juggernaut's this huge new powerhouse. And I'm like, wait a minute. When did he become such a big deal? And I literally like looked up an X-Men wiki that like talked through all of Juggernaut's bouncing back and forth. And Juggernaut, honestly, any X-Men character has such ties to professional wrestling. It's like if you watch professional wrestling long enough, your character will go from being a good guy to being a bad guy to being a good guy again, back to being a bad guy again, and then eventually they'll bring it back to being a good guy again. And it really just depends on when they get bored, when they run out of ideas, all this stuff. And it's so funny to see, because and thankfully comic books have had such a prolonged lifeline that they can continue to revitalize these characters, or I guess they would call it revitalizing. I would call it sometime tanking the character. And
that you Dan Slott.
And to me, I'm just like, I thank goodness there's somebody out there that's documenting all this, because there comes a certain point where I'm just like, I can't take any more of this character. They have turned something that I enjoyed into a slog, and I get tired of the slog. So thank goodness someone out there is paying attention so I can catch up and get back to where I can enjoy the character again and miss all the crap that happened in between.
I guarantee so hard that I'm willing to put money on it that Jim Lee probably consults DC fan wikis to understand the DC continuity when they're like approving
You
scripts.
have to.
They're like, wait, did we already do that with Aquaman? Like, you know what I mean?
it's like, yeah,
Like,
you drew it, nerd. Like,
Yeah. It's like, yeah, dude.
It's
We
like,
did that
I've
literally
drawn-
a year ago. You're like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I've drawn so many pages, so many characters, so many covers. I don't even know anymore. Manny, if only we had the luck, man. If only. One of these days we can be like, oh yeah, I guess that did happen.
I guess that did happen.
we'll have that for sure with Renowned.
Yes.
But
I hate Luke Indiana. I want him to die. I want him to die.
I want him to die.
He leans on the whole, like, don't leave my kids without a father. And it's like, if I meant that much to you, you'd take me to the hospital, you drop me off, I won't tell anybody. No. I'm a smarmy douchebag. Of course I won't tell the cops that you did it and give them your address and have them take me back to where you are. I would never do that. I just wish they would lean on that, because he is such a piece of crap. But there's so much of the will she, won't she, especially with the scissors, because those scissors that she used to like cut his clothing off and everything, she picks up and is looking at. I do like this. I do like this detail, because it does show how someone's passion for something can just quickly, well, not even quickly, but just over time, turn into this almost entitlement. Of like, This started long before I drugged you and kidnapped you and did all this stuff. Like, I have spent thousands of dollars. This is Lily saying this. Spent thousands buying crumbs of your attention, and I thought you cared. And all that money that she spent to Luke was just a paycheck. It was just a means of getting by.
Yeah, I love that exchange. It's what I do for a living. I pretend to be your friend, just like I pretend to be a robot assassin or any other role. And in return, you pretend I'm a better person than I am. Good times. Everybody wins. I mean, these yellow and blue and black pages are like what this book is actually all about. The parasocial relationships between artists and their fans, and the horrific ways that this manifests. Because despite all the nice things we said about you, it's a little unhealthy. You have to admit that it's a little unhealthy to maintain page articles of Wikipedia on your own time. Okay? I'm not saying that it's wrong for you to do so morally. But you should probably just check in with yourself. You know what I mean? Just double check that you're not going too crazy. Go touch some grass. Go into public. Go to your comic book store. Talk to the clerk for a while. Just get out of your own head a little bit. You know what I mean? And
go outside for a couple of hours and try to put netting over a peach tree that you're trying to protect from the squirrels, that your wife is just really dying to have these peaches. And so you go out there and you cover it in this green mesh for about 2 hours. And, by the time you get done, you're tired and everything else in the world doesn't matter as much as you being tired and needing some bourbon to just make the night go smooth.
That's right. What they say about Ben is that he only speaks in universal truths that are entirely
Everybody
unspecific.
has a peach tree. Everybody has squirrels trying to take your peaches. Yep.
That's right.
Dude, I'm going to go to the country and eat a lot of peaches, man.
Ooh. Plant a little garden, eat a lot of peaches.
Yeah. Going to the country, gonna eat a lot of peaches.
Oh, that wasn't even the one I was thinking of. I was thinking of the one.
I was with what was it? The American presidents? Or
Yeah.
the dead president?
The United States.
Oh no, I'm thinking of John Prine. We'll listen to this off stream, but called Spanish Pipe Dream.
Oh, dude, we're getting so close to the end of this book, and I just want Luke to die. Let's see. So,
chat.
Dude, I love this tonal shift because, like you were talking about, the tan and the purple and I keep waiting. I'm like, oh, we're getting closer to this muted colors. I can't wait for him to die. And then he walks back into the kitchen, and we're back into full color. And again, I love that transition out of whether it must be her bedroom. Like, you must be right. This is it all takes place in her bedroom because that's where the board of pictures and everything of her and Luke, her little shrine is. And then she comes, or they come back into the kitchen. Where was it? I think they're talking. He talks about some stupid story about his great grandmother and the fact that she was going to die, and then a rabbi came in and changed her name, or changed her birthday. That was it.
Changed her name and her birthday so that the angel of death couldn't find her.
Yes. Yeah.
And then,
my nice American stage name and the name of all my characters, just showing that once again he has, the reason he's doing this is to escape death or whatever. And he's able to grab a knife so he can start to uncut or cut his hands loose, and
just the shot of the knife still in his back is very funny to me.
Yeah. I just, at one point, I wanted her to touch it and him just go, just show that. Because after a while, he just seems fine with this knife in his back. I mean, nice, fine enough to grab this chair and smash it right into her face. And again, just go this full color, and the fact that the kitchen is this main area of where vast majority of this plot takes place. So it really helps all that setup they did, knowing you're not saying, where did that chair come from? It's been there the whole time. Just the knife in the back still. I love
Yeah.
all the tick, like trying to unlock the door code.
Yeah, because she tells him the door code, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's the number on the ship." And then he gets to the door code. He's like, "Shit, what was the number on the damn spaceship? My birthday?"
Yeah, his birthday is the door code, which, oh god, I love this. The creak of the door. I don't know if you realize this, but as he's opening the door finally, and that shadow of Lily comes into frame,
Yeah.
you can see that like creak, which again, back to any slasher movie or anything like that. He finally goes walking out the door. She comes out behind him and rips the knife out of his back. Oh, I love this. I just wish he was, so
And then she just walks the Nana out, like, "Ooh, is it pancakes?" Your story was okay. Here's a better one. Some drug addict broke into our home while Grandma and I were out and burned it down. We're very upset but feel #blessed that we survived with our health. No more house means Medicaid will finally put Grandma in care and I'll be free. And I could move to Los Angeles, meet real celebrities.
thanks for the aid.
Whoosh. Say hi to what's his name, the Angel of Death. And he gets free. He looks at his reflection in his knife. Like, again, what a great little detail. The vanity of this fucker. Pulls a knife out of his back and then looks at his own reflection. Like, just a piece of shit. He's like, how do I look? Oh, fucking terrible. And then he cauterizes the wound.
Oh, I thought that was pretty cool. Well, I still wanted him to die. You see the knife sitting in the flames, and then that's what he uses to save himself. Yeah. And everything burns away.
Crick, crack, crick, crack.
This does get me to like my favorite part of the entire book. I've liked a lot of this stuff, but I don't know whether it's just the loss of blood, all the drugs. He comes up to this freaking house with a bloody knife, covered in blood, and this non-English speaking couple open the door, and the guy has a gun drawn on him, which I'm like, why wouldn't you? You got this psychopath that's like in his underwear and a torn up t-shirt with a bloody knife in his hand.
In the middle of the fucking desert, so there's no one around.
So good.
And he's like, oh yeah, knife. And then the little girl. And the more his vision fades, I love the obscuring and the laziness and the line work.
I do too. But I love, God, he's like about to pass out or just, lack of blood loss or whatever. So I think that is almost the angel of death. There's some kind of crazy supernatural being.
DMT demon. Who are you, mister? You look familiar. I'm nobody. And then like fade to black.
Just to black. So
that is a really sick page. The lion and the falcon and the little baby. And then there's like one last little soundtrack piece. Luke, Indiana.
Boy shines on TV.
This is so funny. I've been trying to carry on as best as I can, but I've realized I need to mourn the two recent endings of my life, Rogue Nebula and my marriage. I'm fine, but I've decided to step back and do not see any more conventions for the foreseeable future. Please don't worry about me, #Rogue Family. The galaxy sure seems hellbent on bringing us back together.
Oh.
And then,
again, it just shows how much of a freaking dick he is. It's like, yep, so then guess who wrote the book of Parasocial? It was Luke that wrote the damn book.
This whole thing was very strange. I have a secret to tell you. I wrote a book under a pseudonym. It came out last week, and some of it is true. Here's what I want you to do, Rogue Family. Take a picture of yourself reading my book, tag me in it, and tell me one of your deepest secrets. I promise to read every one. XX. Kiss, kiss. Parasocial, Bookstagram, horror fan.
So gross.
Have any of you heard from Lily recently? I'm worried about her.
I love that ending. Just how simple it is. Blank white page with those two text boxes.
The end. And I like the text passages Like I just like after like reading those made me very much think like after finishing the book, like I was like, oh, these are very intelligent people who made this book, and they kind of like knew exactly what they're doing and executed it well. Like I don't think this book is perfect. It's not my favorite comic book, but I have a lot of fun with it, and like I just respect its execution a lot. Like they knew exactly what they were making. They didn't take themselves too seriously, despite having a lot of like meaningful satire to it, and they just got in and got out, short and sweet. You know, inoffensive in that regard, which I will always appreciate.
Dude, and what I think is great about this, to your point, is you do get some perspective from like Erica, and her write up on what this, what this book, how she approached this book, and even Alex. And I haven't read Alex's, so I can't speak to it. And besides, I'm not a writer, so I probably would read it and be like, "That's fun." But she does talk about those color choices and the fact that, like, in the book, we're jumping back and forth from the harsh fluorescence light and local color of the convention center and Lily's kitchen to the garish dark and outdoors and her living room. These were generally more location-specific choices, but I wanted even the act of moving from space to space to be unreal and unreliable. And I mean, I feel like you definitely get that tone in her color choices, and just those emotional shifts and tonal shifts. So I thought that was really cool. But all in all, Kev, what I will say is, once again, my friend, you brought me a book that definitely surprised me. While I read it, I originally thought like I do not love these characters, but just the creative choices and decisions. Typically when I look at it from the artist perspective, I'm trying to see, what can I start to look at in my own style to utilize. And, when we're looking at artists like Sean Phillips, Trad, Daniel, Andrew McLean, all those guys, I can look at it and say, like, ooh, I really like these choices of how they show action and bring these characters together. What I think is really awesome about Erica's work in Parasocial are those colors. When you're working on colors of characters, you're really like, how do I keep that true and consistent? And what I love in this is you can drive so much emotion and just doing really pointed color transitions and showing emotion through color. And I love that so much about her work in here. And to your point, there is so much that is conveyed through like extreme close-ups, whether it's eyes, whether it's mouths, that you don't have to sit here and show the entire face screaming in anguish or in agony, or giving the smarminess through the entire face. Really lean on showing more of that fine detail work and letting the body language from those specific features convey that emotion. So I, from an artistic standpoint, thought that was amazing. From a writing standpoint, once again, the humor comes through great. Ruben Sandwich, I definitely want to name a character a food name now that
Philly.
Now that we got a Ruben Sandwich.
Philly steak.
My name is Brian Lucas Thomas, but you can call me
BLT.
That's so much better. I was thinking like, I'm a Chef Alfredo, a fettuccine Alfredo.
Well, my father runs restaurants all over this town. He's a head chef. You've heard his name, Boyardee.
Boyardee.
But yeah, from a writing standpoint, if somebody can write really uncaring, unredeemable characters, I would leave that to Alex. Great job making me hate the people in this book.
Great job.
It's great writing, though. They're real people. You don't like them because like, oh, I don't like this guy and his choices.
Yeah.
There's nothing about this that feels unbelievable, except maybe,
Right.
like the murder sequence, but you buy into it because of how flawed these people are. It's justified. It's just campy enough, which is like one thing I will say about this. Like, it is sticking to its genre. Like, it is in the wheelhouse it is for a reason. It like is staying at its level the entire time, never punching up or down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I do like about this. It's just smart. You can tell this book was just really made by smart people who knew what they were doing. And I like comic books where that's the case.
Just a fantastic social commentary, right? Don't fall don't fall victim to letting this happen to you, as far as like letting your appreciation or your love for someone that's within that sphere of influence just dominate your entire life, because it's just not healthy.
It's
Speaking
not.
of, I'm gonna go pray to my Petra shrine, so it's all good.
It's all good. Well, you know, it's in the Bible, right? Like, beware of idolatry and like don't
Well,
pray to any gods that are not God. You know what I mean? And that's not because I believe in God as the Almighty, but that's just good advice. You know what I mean? Don't make any man and not like an idol on that level.
right. To your point, don't make any man or woman an idol. But what I'm really fortunate is Petra is not real. So it works out. I don't have anybody I have to stalk. I can just read the pages of Luther Strode somewhere.
I can just go on Reddit and find roleplay friends.
God, oh my god. That's a slippery slope. I don't think I can do that. I'll have to have a conversation with my wife and be like, I've heard of this thing that we should try.
It only works over the phone. You have to call me.
Maybe we
I
could
can't be looking at you. It ruins the fantasy.
I don't think that'll go well.
While you hold up your own Petra drawings of Petra that you made yourself.
What are you looking at? Why are all these pages all over?
You're not supposed to be in here.
Dangle.
Private time.
It's
I was
art,
drawing, I swear. It's all good.
Oh yeah, Parasocial. It's good. I think you should read it if you haven't already. We talked about it very extensively, but you know, Image Comics, Erica Henderson, Alex DeCampi. It's good. I like this book. You can find this book at your LCS. Hey, maybe go out to your LCS on Saturday, May 4th. Especially if your LCS is Acme Comics in Greensboro, because we'll be there tabling for Free Comic Book Day. Go get some free comics. Go talk to the clerks. See what's going on those shelves. There's some cool shit. Last time I was in Acme, they did have this book. But that was like weeks ago. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was there, because those people who work in that store, they have good taste and they'd recommend it. If not, I'll just be there and I'll bully you into buying it if I see you.
Buy it.
Or, you know, other books. Ben just joined you too for 2 seconds. That was cool. Okay. With that, I think we can call it. Good stream, everybody.
Yeah, good job, guys.
Dude, yeah. Well, so just in case people listen to this afterwards, if you're really interested in what we're covering next week, we are going to wrap up our Luther Strode series by talking about the Legend. Is that right? Legend, or is it Legacy?
Legacy.
Yeah, Legend was last week. Sorry. So yes, this is going to be Legacy. And if you thought Legend was insane and action-packed, Legacy is just that times 10.
Yeah.
So join us. It's going to be an awesome time. Again, we get to visit the familiar creative team of Justin Jordan Tradmore and Felipe Sobrero. So it will not disappoint you. I promise you that.
No, we're excited. All right, everybody. Have a good evening, good day. If you're watching this at a different time of day, if you stuck it out this long, thank you.
Yes.
Good night. Okay. I have stopped the stream.
Cool. I'm still doodling on mine.
My question is, what did we cover the week after Luther Strode?
Ooh, good question.
I did I got have to look at the date, but the I got personally the Enfield Gang Massacre trade that just got put out.
Yes,
So that's something we should do soon.
We definitely should. I thought that was so good. So let me propose this because I love that idea. I think we should save some of the Western stuff for around when we're ready to talk more about having.
Yeah, once we have the physical Western, because then you can be like, look, here's that Western you just heard about, and here's the Western we just made. You can get this here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be the way to do that. While I want to talk about the Infield Gang, I thought, God, I love that book. So good. And ended in a way that, like, you know, most Westerns do, where it's not the ending you think it should be. Great twist. But I don't know. Good question. What else do you guys
Let me pull up the list again.
Dude, I would love to read. I know our other friend Ben is not a huge fan of Donny Cates, but personally, I like quite a bit of Donny Cates stuff. So I don't know if either of you guys have God Country, but I thought God Country was really cool.
I don't have God Country. I have the one that's I think it's called Redneck.
Oh, I don't have Redneck, but I could pick up a copy at Acme.
Yeah, it's like let's see, it's Donny Cates and Lysandro Esther, but it's like vampire rednecks, like in backwoods, like Louisiana or something.
Yeah, they remember
it's pretty fun.
Alamo, I think, right?
Oh, you know what Donny Cates we all have?
It's Ghost Fleet.
It's the Ghost Fleet, yeah.
But that's another DWJ. While I love, I'm just wondering, how much DWJ. Much.
How many stories did we do? Didn't we only do?
We did Murder Falcon. That's it.
And we're doing 2 Trad Moores right now. We did 2 Andrew McLeans.
We did 2 Brew Bakers.
Yep. So
we can do a Power Bomb. We all have that.
Yeah. Or Ghost Fleet.
Or Ghost Fleet.
We'll do Ghost Fleet. I haven't read that in a while.
And I love the insanity that happens at the end of Ghost Fleet.
It's insane.
That's a really fucking fun book. That's going to be a long one, though.
And it's talking about Daniel again, so it's hard.
Well, we don't have to spend so many minutes on each page. We can just flip through it. You know what I mean?
Whereas something to consider, because I think Ghost Fleet would be easy. It's not like Daniel at his in pure Dan mode, but something like Do a Power Bomb, I almost feel like we should split that in half, because there's so much that he brings from his love for professional wrestling into that.
Oh yeah.
That I think once we do review that, we'll need some extra time, or we will be doing a marathon 4-hour stream like we did with Murder Falcon.
Yeah.
I want to do some Tim Sale as well. I don't know what you guys would want to do, but I'm open for anything Tim Sale. I mean, all his stuff with Jeff Loeb is amazing. So if you guys have
the new Planet of the Apes movie is coming out.
Oh yeah, we could look.
It's called Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Wow.
It's at 300 years after the last one.
Damn.
Trying to think what. Oh, dude, we got to pick out something Deadpool or Wolverine themed to tie in.
I was thinking about that. I'm pulling up all the summer movie releases so that we can have timeliness.
We were talking about doing that Hawkeye, My Life as a Weapon. Have you read the Hawkeye Deadpool crossover, which is ridiculously stupid and fun?
No.
Okay, I'll bring that. I have to remember.
July 26th.
That'd be a fun character to draw. Deadpool.
Yeah. Are you adding it to your list?
Oh, I already did. I'm gonna do
oh my god, dude! The Crow remake comes out this summer.
That's with what's his face too.
Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, he's in another action movie. The Boy That Kills, or The Boy That Kills the World, or something.
Who did that one? Jerry Duggan. Ooh.
Oh, Duggan.
Freaking love this cover. Deadpool with like the ultra Nerf gun.
And then he
Oh.
actually.
So good. And then just that
broken hands.
picture sets everything up. So good.
Well, what we do also have, we have Street Angel, Jimmy Olsen. That book is crazy. The Schlub. Oh yeah, I don't have that trade yet.
I
don't
don't
have
either.
Space Mullet, Hard Boiled, Mr. Miracle, East of West, Saga, Kevin Smith's Quiver, Flashpoint, High Cost of Living, Preacher, Last Ronin, The Witching Hour, Step by Bloody Step, The Crow, which is on here. Do Powerbomb, fuck Fairyland, Gorillas, we could do for Planet of the Apes. Southern Bastards, Hip Hop Family Tree, Batman Long Halloween. Oh yeah.
With me. It's signed by Chris, but this is his Witching Hour. It's freaking great. This is something I think both of you guys will love. It's Chris at his best outside of steampunk. Steampunk's bad.
Oh yeah, Shaolin Cowboy.
Oh, dude, that's just eye candy, man. Just looking at that the whole time. Look at how amazing that fucking.
Oh,
Jeff
I know what I
Bridges
was gonna
is.
say. We should do Transformers when the Transformers trade comes out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because Manny, you're gonna get the trade. Me
Oh,
and
yeah.
Ben both have the singles.
When is the Space Mullet reprint supposed to come out? I know Ben.
It's already out. That's the one I bought at Acme.
No, I think they ran out of shit or something. Because everyone bought it.
Damn.
Everyone and their fucking mom bought it, and I didn't get one.
Who
I'm
has
sorry.
mullet? Space mullet back.
Oh, Manny
I
has
have
your
it.
Space Mullet.
I have it.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, have you read that yet?
You want it back?
No. Just wondering if you read that, because
Not yet.
tell me what you think of his first 30 pages.
Oh, dude, I've looked at those pages so many times. Yeah, it's definitely like beginning of the comics journey, but it's so good at the same time.
I know.
Comes out in a week from today, Manny. The Transformers trade.
Oh, okay.
I love the fact
$16.99.
Space Mullet is Daniel finding his way. It's so good.
Yeah.
Do you guys read any Daniel Clowes?
No, I've been meaning to. I heard really good things about 8 Ball.
Oh, you need to read Death Ray. Bringing Death Ray. Kev, I'm bringing you books.
I haven't even read the books you gave me before.
God damn it. I'm bringing you more books.
Do you want any books?
I don't know.
I don't know.
If there's something I don't have, yeah.
Let me take a look.
Manny, were we talking about Crimson?
I think we talked a little bit about it, yeah.
That's Humberto Ramos.
Yeah, you mentioned it. I never read it.
Ugh.
Oh my gosh.
So freaking good. Teenage Vampire.
Oh wow.
But this is freaking
The Dan Clowes, yeah.
The Death Ray.
Dude, he's like such a good cartoonist, dude.
Yeah, he is.
He's insane.
All right, so I'll hold on to Crimson for the next time we hang out. But
hell yeah.
I'm bringing Witching Hour and Death Ray.
Ben, have you read The Black Monday Murders?
No.
It's Jonathan Hickman and Tom Coker, and it's like this like story about Russian like vampires who run Wall Street, and it's like told from the perspective of a detective investigating murders like in these Wall Street offices and uncovering a conspiracy of like Russian vampires that have ruled what the economy does for thousands of years.
That sounds awesome.
And it's fucking cool. It's
I'm-
it's one of my favorite books. That the only things that jumped out were that Matt Fraction's Jimmy Olsen run. If you haven't read that,
Oh yeah, you were talking about wanting to cover that. So
dude, it's massive. So we'd probably have to break it up, but it's so much fun, like an old school adventure book. Basically, it's great. Oh, we're just in your bedroom.
Yeah. See, there are the dogs. There's the wife.
Nice.
So
Deep in iPad land.
this is. So that's my closet. Lisa has her own closet that's gonna go away here sometime this summer.
It's gonna go away. What do you mean?
Okay, we have a closet. Thank you, Manny. Yeah. So we have a closet where most of my clothes can probably fit into my own dresser. But we'll be moving the closet into the master bathroom, and then the wall between his and her closet is gonna go bye-bye, and then that will become the office
Oh wow.
Huh.
eventually.
Well, right on.
How do you feel about that?
I feel like that's pretty awesome. I also feel like it'd be cool to have just like a Mouth Breathers Guild studio somewhere.
Right.
Well, that's the dream.
But one of these days. One of these days.
We have to build the empire.
I agree. So I will, like I said, I'm gonna wrap up drawing our barfly. I've got a few ideas. And hopefully I don't crib too directly from a character that I just found that I'm like, ooh, I love this character. I think he'd make a great drunkard, so I'm gonna try to make it my own. But I love the nose on the character, so I'm mostly stealing the nose.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, once I get that done, I'll have that. We'll talk more this weekend. I will give you a heads up, Kev. I looked at the radar because I'm a dad, and it looks like there's a high chance of rain on Saturday. So,
Are we going to be outside for that?
yep. According to Ben, we're all supposed to be outside under a massive tent.
Oh jeez.
So I don't know.
You got me worried. Now I'm going to look. Weekend.
Let's see.
Friday
Seymour.
night. Oh, 69% chance of rain showers in the morning will evolve into a more steady rain in the afternoon.
Yeah.
High 77, winds south. Okay. Chance of rain 70%.
So it says event kicks off at 10 a.m. Vendors need to be set up by 9:30. It's in the parking lot attached to the store. Let's see, where is it? He said we have a large carport tent that should be large enough to house all vendors in attendance. But we'll also have additional backup pop-up tents. I messaged him. This is where I love Ben, but I also know Ben likes to play a lot of things by ear. And I just said, hey, we're prepping to come this weekend and saw that it could rain on Saturday. Is there a plan B for rain? So Ben was just like, we might have to play it by ear. We have enough room downtown to get everyone inside and volunteers for breaking down and moving people's tables. So it sounds like we're going to set up outside, probably be out there for about 30 minutes, and then have to move everything inside. Just a heads up that even if we're outside, it sounds like we'll most likely be inside at some point. So it's like they got those back issue tables that they've got against the back wall now. And in my mind, I'm just like, put those back in the office or back in storage and have a ton of space there. And then you've got space in front of like the expensive single issue cabinet and space there where like he had the Sam set up. So.
Oh, true.
And I'm gonna personally just say, can I be close to the pinball machines? Because I'll probably just spend money on pinball.
I'll probably just spend money on that.
Their Halloween pinball machine is freaking awesome. It is really good. Last time Lisa and I were there for their comedy show that they had, I played I played two of them. Shows you how much I remember the first one. Was it Running Man? I think it was their Running Man machine, if I remember right. And the Halloween machine blew the other one away. It was freaking awesome. So
that's awesome. Yeah, their whole setup is pretty sick over there.
yeah.
Big
Well,
fan.
so what I found out, they bought the Halloween cabinet. The other two that they have are on rental from some dude. But all of them are in amazing working condition. It's like they were just freaking bought off the factory floor, like just this year. They're pristine, super clean, everything works. Like it's not something that looks like it's been rehashed or, somebody came in and just had to put new stickers on. They all look like premium cabinets. They're really pretty.
They're fantastic.
Really pretty. Makes me want a pinball machine, but
right.
I won't dare say that to Lisa yet. Not until one of our kids moves off to college, then maybe I can. I was just, talking about getting a pinball machine for the house, the important things.
Important things.
Oh, my goodness. All right, gents. I've got to draw a drunk guy, and I got to ink some Transformers. So
yeah, you do. And I got to draw.
Oh, yeah. These fellas got to draw.
Yeah.
So we just need to decide what we're doing for next week. We can do that. Interviews. We need to do interviews.
Yes.
So let me know what works.
Are we able to do it this week? Or
I hope so. You guys tell me.
I can't do it tomorrow.
Of course you can, Mr. Social Busy person.
Yeah, Manny Shane hit me up because he was just like, "Hey, last minute, you don't have to pay any money. Do you want to go see Queens of the Stone Age?" Like the homie dropped out.
Oh my god!
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
And I was just like, and what was funny was that I was like listening to Queens of the Stone Age when he texted me.
Yep, I've been listening to them too, man. I had no idea they were coming to town.
He was just like, yeah. So I was like, yes, I'll go. Like, it's a sign.
Yep.
Twist my arm.
So that's what I'm doing tomorrow. And then, yeah. So maybe not Saturday because of new free comic book day, but either Friday or Sunday.
Sunday I have until probably 5 o'clock. So, oh wait, crap. No, I gotta help. Is it Saturday? No, Sunday in the morning that we're helping move furniture. I'll have time Sunday afternoon until 5 o'clock.
Okay.
So it's a noon to 5.
Does Friday's up in there for everybody? Or
Friday should work for me.
I can do Friday.
You can do Friday? Let's do Friday. So you don't have to worry about doing it on Sunday.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Kev, do you have questions that you want to send me, or do we just keep it? I would prefer to have questions, so if you can send me whatever you got, I can start from there, but I know we'll probably just shoot the breeze and chat like we normally do.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to do the interview together? You want them separate?
We can do it together.
Yeah, I'm fine with together.
Yeah.
Okay.
That works for me.
Sweet. I did see James already reached out to you, Manny, and you were talking to him about another anthology.
Yeah, I was just mentioning the sci-fi one that I've talked to you guys about. So, I'm just like, want to do a sci-fi thing. I got ideas. You should work on something with Ben, so you're definitely in the book.
That was funny because after you hit him up and mentioned that, he reached out and he was like, will you do something with me? I was like, yeah, totally. Like I may double dip and
Yeah.
do like my own independent thing, just depending on if I have anything. But I was like, dude, we'll do something together, so that way so James can be a part of it too.
Yeah,
Because
because I was like,
kind of after that happened, but
yeah, I felt bad, but yeah, you can double dip because I'm gonna double dip, or we're gonna double dip. So
we double dipping.
yeah, so we'll do that. Well, once we get like, it'll be a later thing. It's not anytime soon. It's like later in the year, most likely. We could probably Kevin and I could probably knock something out, and then I got my thing, um, that I'm still working on. So then we can slowly trickle out deadlines to people.
Yeah.
Shit. I mean, honestly, Manny, it didn't do you any good to give them more time. So
Yeah. Yep. So I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna print it next week. Get it done. Oh shit.
yeah, that might be better.
Yeah, maybe. It was definitely a learning experience, so I will not do that again, or how I approached it. It'll be different.
Or just, give them the deadline of like whenever we say it is. You know what I mean? If we just want to have it done by December,
Right.
just make people do that.
I mean, if that, well, I would
kinda
say
gave them the
honestly,
deadline of March. We all agreed
No,
on it.
I know,
didn't-
but like just give it a shorter timeline when they're stoked on the idea. You
Yeah,
know
that's what I mean. I'm gonna do it differently, as in like a shorter timeline. I'm not gonna wait until it's like a month or two before fucking Heroes Con.
okay, that sounds good. Because what I was gonna say is, whatever your true deadline is in your mind, like bump it up 2 months. Just say this is when we need it. We really want it done in March, but we need everything in December, at the end of December. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I will do that.
Well, all right, fellas.
All right, man.
Awesome.
I'm
Thank
tired.
you again, Kev, dude. Like, it was. I always find myself learning something from our awesome discussions about these, especially the stuff I would just really not normally pick up off the shelf. So
Hell yeah, dude.
another good one.
Comics are dope. Shout out to Off Panel for, recommending this one. It wasn't those interviews that I heard with the creators that I was like, oh, these people sound cool. I'll pick up that book. And then I saw it on the shelf and I was like, hell yeah, that's the book I've been thinking of. Because I heard that interview. And that's how I find a lot of comics. Shout out sketched.com and Off Panel Podcast. Those guys rule.
Yeah.
It was interesting too because you brought up, Erica, and so I had to do just a quick search for Erica, and I don't know how much of the character of Lily was self-referential or whatever, but if you look at her, she's kind of got that short bob haircut, and kind of that body type. So I was like, well, maybe there's a little bit of putting herself into the book. I didn't want to bring that up on the stream because I didn't want to assume anything because I didn't do the research like I should have. But
I got you. Most likely, I draw myself all the time. So.
What's up, Kev?
Oh, Ben, at Free Comic Book Day, there's the Skybound Energon Universe special.
Oh, we will be getting copies of that, my friend.
I want that, and then the Ultimate Universe, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Did you guys, because you guys were out there actually at the tables last year, did they give you bags of books?
No.
No,
I don't remember getting
dude.
any bags.
They saved us some in the back, so that's something we'll make sure to ask Ben about when they get there. It's like, hey,
I think we did. I think we got a bag of it.
Did we?
Okay.
I just don't remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
But we do that, and we get a beer, we go home, call it a day.
a beer.
Maybe.
A beers.
Okay, thank you. That makes me feel better.
Just I gotta drive like an hour and a half home. So
I only got to do 40 minutes, so I think I'm all right. I'll just pull over and nap in the car.
that's right. All right, fellas. You have
Okay.
yourselves a good night, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
Friday.
Sounds
Yes,
good.
Friday.
Friday.
All right, Manny. I'm just gonna ink away here, my friend.
All right, dude. You
Keep
enjoy
keep
yourself.
kicking butt.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try.
Yeah, there is no try. You're doing some amazing stuff. So
I appreciate it, man.
keep it up. Keep it up.
Thanks, man.
All
Almost done.
right, I'll talk to you on Friday.
All right, dude. See you then.
Later.
Peace. Okay. Okay. Something like that. Okay. So it's going to be something like this. Okay. It's gonna be something like that. You did pretty good today. Pretty much got that figured out. I like the way his arm's looking. So. Keep pressing the wrong button. It's 11 o'clock. I need to go to sleep. Okay. I think I made some progress tonight, though. Just got to add some speed lines on this guy. Coming from the back. Like that. But more precise. Other than that, pretty good. Pretty good. And then also figuring out the end page. The inner back cover is something that I want to add, but I want it to be pretty fast like that. I want it to be kind of designy, you know? But we'll see. Let's see what happens. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, watching it, listening to the guys talk some comics. I did not read the book. Oh well. Didn't have time. And I did not want to order it online. As in Amazon. So, didn't want to do that. Anyways, have a good night, my friends. I will see you most likely tomorrow to try and finish off one of these things. And we'll get that much closer to finishing this book. So damn close. Just got this page to finish the pencils on. Probably just going to touch some things up. Then it'll be done. Gotta ink 3 pages. Gonna ink 3 pages after this. So, we're getting there, almost done. We're gonna knock it out this weekend. That's what we're gonna do. Alright, peace. Keep drawing.